So here we are now, we're going to be looking at the International Challenge for March. Specifically, we are going to be looking at building ourselves a VGC competitive team. You know, just basically just for VGC International. For those of you who are, not, first time beginners, or, you're just trying to figure out how can you form your own team. Well, I'm going to show you step by step by how I would make a VGC team. And while this isn't going to exactly be my team, it will help you, set you up on the right track. So, first of all, how do I form a VGC team for basically any kind of format for VGC related? Well, if any of you remember from a while back, I did a video talking about how I go through setting up a team, specifically talking about the roles, etc. And I classify pretty much all Pokemon under one of 4 categories, either sweepers, or offensive Pokemon, such as physical and special attacking sweepers, defensive Pokemon, which are physical and special defensive walls, for example. Then you've got your support Pokemon, which are offensive and defensive support Pokemon, basically Pokemon who don't really go on the attack, but instead set up the field in some way to help your team or the opponent, or hamper the opponent's team. And then you've got general Pokemon, which are just every other Pokemon that they're not classified as sweepers, not classified as walls, and they're not really support Pokemon purely, but they can pretty much go under any of those categories. They can pretty much do whatever they need to do, and they're pretty just all around good Pokemon. So first of all, we're gonna need a sweeper, so that's what we're gonna look at right now, and we are going to look at specifically Haxorus. Now, why am I talking about Haxorus? Well, if you look at its stats, you'll see that not only does it have a very, very powerful physical attack, it's also got a reasonably respectable speed stat of 97. It's got decent enough defenses, so it can hang in there. It can take a bit of a beating if it needs to. It's clearly got a defined role in terms of physical offensive power. So if you see here, it's clearly a physical attacker. It doesn't want to go for special attacks. So that is pretty much what you want to look for when you're looking for sweepers. Pokemon that have very clearly defined roles in terms of what they want to do. Haxorus is one of those Pokemon where you can safely strap a choice scarf onto it or a choice band, and 100% it's going to be dealing massive amounts of damage. So that's what it wants to do. It wants to get in there, hit something really hard, and just KO everything in its path. So that's gonna be our physical attacking sweeper. I'll split this up into like 1, 2, maybe 3 videos talking about setting up this team. So first of all, we're going to be looking at Haxorus once again, or moving on from Haxorus, and now we're going to be looking at a Pokemon to be our wall. We're going to need something that we can 100% reliably go into and take any kind of hits reasonably respectably. So one Pokemon we're going to be looking at is Toxex. So once again, this is a Pokemon that, if you're looking at the stats, you can see clearly it's a Pokemon that wants to wall. It's not going to get anywhere it wants to very fast. It's not going to hit very hard. And while it doesn't have the strongest of health pools, it has a powerful set of defenses. 152 in the physical defense and 142 in the special defense. You can't get much better than that in terms of its defenses, except if you're going for legendary Pokemon. But since we're not looking at legendary Pokemon here, or at least we're not looking at a legendary Pokemon, we're just going to look at Toxex, just to help us get us started so that we know what kind of Pokemon we're looking for. Toxex is a wall. I'm telling you right now, it has pure defensive walling capabilities, and if you look at its defenses, or at least what it resists, you see that it only resists it's weak to 3 different types of attacks. And it's resistant to at least 8 or 9. So if you look here, you'll see we got 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 different resistances, neutral with some of the others, and only 3 weaknesses. So that's a pretty powerful set of stats, combinations of stats and resistances to make Toxex a really powerful defensive wall Pokemon that we can switch into on any kind of attack, and expect Toxex to at least survive it outside of really, really powerful attacks such as Electrium Z moves under Electric Terrain, or Psychic attacks under Psychini or under Psychic Terrain. Basically those kind of moves and such. Outside of those though, Toxex will 100% reliably survive any kind of attack. So let's move on to our support Pokemon now, because we need a support Pokemon. And one Pokemon we're going to be looking at is Liepard. Now the reason why I like using Liepard for, any kind of supporting category is because of the Prankster ability. Any Pokemon that has the Prankster ability, they got nerfed because Dark Pokemon are now immune to Prankster moves, etc. But Prankster Pokemon are still one of the most dangerous Pokemon you can bring into a battlefield. The priority that they give to, status moves and just the amount of tools and other moves that they bring to bear onto the field is just something you just cannot go without if you're looking to rely on something to support your team. And Liepard brings a really powerful mix of not only speed and attacking power in both the physical and special attacking category. With the Prankster ability, it can bring status moves that would really hamper your opponent. It's just a Pokemon that is offensively designed to hamper the opponent's Pokemon in some way, with Fake Out, with Thunder Wave, for example. If you want to prevent Pokemon from, setting up status moves, etc. of their own, that you can plant Taunt on Liepard, and it's just really reliable. Now, we have our category, or our 3 core Pokemon. We have our Sweeper, we have a Wall, and we have a support Pokemon. Now we're going to move on to the general Pokemon. And while I say you can bring one from each category, since, that's the most balanced team that I've been able to run so far, we're going to look at, for general Pokemon, one of my personal favorite general Pokemon, Milotic. So, if you look at Milotic's stats, you can see here that Milotic is one of the strongest Pokemon in terms of general category that has a clearly defined role. So looking at Milotic's stats, it's got a really powerful special defense, it's got a very decent special attack. As for speed, it could get around faster, but 81 is nothing to scoff at. Defense, same thing as speed, could be a little better, but 79, nothing to shake your head at. HP, really reliable, 95 stat, definitely good if you want to survive hits. And as for attack, well, you're not going to be looking at... Milotic's not a very physical attacking Pokemon, it's more of a special attacker. And in terms of its abilities, you can't go wrong with a competitive nature. It is a Pokemon that, will scare people. When they see the Milotic, they're going to have 2 pictures in their minds. They're going to either have A, the Marvel Scale Milotic, which they will not like fighting against Milotic. With the Marvel Scale, it's very tanky. Or B, the competitive nature, which will fear or put fear into those users of Intimidate. They don't want to give Milotic any more power than it already has. And if they give that Milotic an Intimidate, well, it's not going to use its physical attack at any time, so it doesn't care about its physical attack. It'll happily take an Intimidate off. Nothing's scarier than a Milotic with the competitive nature and the Adrenaline Orb. Those two combination against Intimidate users is something they fear most, especially Landorus users. They don't want to see a Milotic with competitive and the Adrenaline Orb. They fear that more than anything else. So that's going to be our first general Pokemon we're going to be looking at. Next up, I know, it's been overused, I know, but you cannot deny that Garchomp is one of the most reliable Pokemon in all of VGC, in all of Pokemon, for instance. It has a very powerful stat in terms of its speed, 102. It's got a really strong physical attack, 130. It has a really strong HP pool of 108. And for its defenses, they are nothing to scoff at. 95 in the physical defense and 85 in the special defense. You can put any kind of item on Garchomp and it will do reliably well. You can put a focus edge on it and it will eat up those fairy type moves and those ice type moves. You can strap an assault vest onto it and it will shrug off certain fairy type moves and just keep on hitting down. You can strap a life orb onto it and it will just deal out even more damage. Give it a choice scarf, a choice band, it does not care, it will do its job. You can put Garchomp into any kind of situation and it will be reliable. You can just send it into any kind of battle and at least know that no matter what you face, Garchomp has some kind of an answer to it. And we'll talk about the moves later on. For example, if you've seen how to use Garchomp, for example, then you'll see that Garchomp is one of the most reliable Pokemon. In fact, it is the most reliable Pokemon in my opinion. It just has everything to counters, and well, not everything counters. What I'm trying to say is it has everything you need to counter other kinds of Pokemon. But in any case, that's 5 members of our team. We have our second general Pokemon, general offensive Pokemon. We have a general defensive Pokemon. So what do we need now? Well, we're going to be looking at Tapu Fini for our general support Pokemon. Now, why am I saying that Tapu Fini is a general support Pokemon? If you look at its ability and its stats, for example, it's a very powerful special defensive and a physical defensive Pokemon. It doesn't want to take it's not the most, offensively based, but then again, I think it's got a stronger special attack than Tapu Koko. But where Fini plays her power is in the Misty Surge ability. So with the Misty Surge ability, your Pokemon will be protected from burns, etc., from confusion. And since the team we've got is all based on the ground types, or not ground type, but Pokemon that can benefit from the Misty Surge, Pokemon that would be afraid of like burns, etc., such as our Haxorus or our Garchomp, they don't have to fear burns, and that's thanks to our Tapu Fini's Misty Terrain. As for items, etc., we can make use of pretty much any other item on Tapu Fini. So if we want to put Tapu Fini into a general support category, she can spend her time such as setting up like Calm Minds, chowing down on a berry, and then hitting back even harder. Just taking her time, set herself up, and she'll do well in battle. So there we go. That's going to be our first 6 Pokemon. So once again, we're going to go through this, and in the next video, probably tomorrow or so, I'll talk about like move pools, etc., and talking about what each of these Pokemon wants to do. So first of all, we're going to be going down, once again, going to go down the line. First of all, we got Haxorus, going to be our sweeper. Toxex, it's going to be our wall. Our defensive wall Pokemon, just switch in Toxex whenever we need. Then we've got Liepard for the support category, gonna help our team out by hurting the opponent's team. Then we got Milotic, gonna be our general Pokemon, general defensive. But Milotic can go on the offensive if necessary. Then we got Garchomp for the general offense category. Nothing like a Garchomp on the field to put the fear into the opponent. And finally, we got Tapu Fini to help us out, help out our team in some way and support the team in another way. So, there we go. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!